Yes, hello guys, welcome to another video today. So after talking to a lot of clubs and sporting directors, yes, what I found out that most of you agents don't know how to contact clubs. So I'm going to give you guys five details or 5 plans you can use to contact clubs so that you get a direct response. So most of you agents have also been contacting me because you have been having this struggle. You have your license, but it's also difficult for you to contact clubs and clubs reach or respond. So stick around and I'm going to let you know how you can do this. So after this video, you're going to get a response from a club if you follow direct instruction as I say here. So this is just a message from an agent from Tunisia. Hi Brian, I reached out to a club in Slovakia and I've been reaching out to more than 50 clubs and they cannot respond to my message. So how do I manage to contact them back? So with this message and the other messages that I got, I decided to do a video on this, on how you can contact clubs. So here is the problem. After doing some research, I found out also that most of you guys are doing things a little bit different, but if we tweak it, it can be done in a very good way. So there's a problem that that most agents will do. So most beginner agents do this thing wrong. They send a generic message to a club with no research, no context, and also not knowing what the club actually need. So what I mean by this is you just pick, for example, you see a club somewhere, and normally what most new agents do is they just say, okay, this club, I have this winger. They don't know what is the playing style of the club. They just send a message to that club that hello, this, or let's give a name. I'm Brian, and I have this very good talented winger. This is his video. He's cheap. You can get him. Those people, those sporting directors, they receive more than millions of messages. So that message is never going to be replied. So what I would say is you need a strategy, and most importantly, you need to offer value first. What do I mean by offering value? Which means you need to make the person, you need to give first something that the person is of value before the person can be in contact with you. So when the first time in networking, you don't contact someone to ask anything or because you don't contact someone to get something first. You have to first attract that person towards you, then before you ask for that person's services. So let's start with the 5 ways you can look, because I'll start with the most basic way, which is cold email with a purpose. If you send a cold email with no purpose, it's never going to be replied. So let's see how we can put most of the cold emails you guys send with a purpose. So let's take, for example, I'll put myself in your shoes and I'll say, this is how you do it. So take a pen and paper, this is how you do. So go to all clubs, the club you want to contact. If you have a player now, find official club emails, go to their website, search their emails via the club websites or wheresoever you can find it, but I think via the club website. Keep it short and professional. Introduce yourself, the player you have, and your purpose. Attach a scouting report, let's take for example, of that player and a video. And then if the player is let's take for example a right winger, that scouting report, try to compare his stats and then go and to their own club, to the player that you see let's say go to the club and look for also the player who plays in that position and try to look at his stats. Then you can write a message comparing that. You think your stats or the player that you have can be better than this. Then if you have those stats to back it up, you have a chance that if you keep producing value like this, they will respond to it. So this is the first way you get the door, you get get a sporting director thinking, because anybody who sees this kind of message will say, let's check. Let's take, for example, if I'm a sporting director at a club, this is what I found out after talking to a lot of them. So believe me. So let's take, for example, I'm a sporting director on my table. I have a lot of emails I have to reply a day, probably more than 200, 300. So sometimes I will not reply to any kind of email. That is not serious. So let's take, for example, I just send an email and the headline is scouting report for, let's take, for example, right winger, better right winger than, for example, then you put the player's name who was their player, scouting report for better right winger than the right winger who plays regularly for that team that you're trying to bring the player, that you put his name there. So that kind of message is going to trigger someone's attention, because you say, okay, this is a scouting report of a player that's a better right winger than this our player that we have in this team. Okay, let's see them. So this is where you have, because of the way you've put the headline, and also now you have also your things to back up, which this is how you come now. So you introduce yourself and make it professional, as I say. Then you put this report. You said, okay, from what you have been observing, for example, you show now those reports, the reports and the statistics. Because if you want to say a player to a football club, for that player to be accepted, make sure that player should be better than what they have, or is a prospect better than a prospect that can be better in future. Don't say someone that is older and not good than what they have, because they're not going to look at you. So this is how you open the doors for yourself, because everybody wants something better always in life. So that's the first idea. Okay, now that's number one. The next, we go to LinkedIn networking. So LinkedIn is a professional platform that most of all these professional teams, they have their website and all their things there. So when you go there, also search for titles like sporting director, head of recruitment, or academic managers. Okay. Then personalize your connection request. Start with message like, for example, well, the first thing is first send the connection. Do not write any message when you send connection, because when the person accepts your connection, you can say like, "Hi, I work with young players and I saw you're in charge of recruitment. Can I share a profile that fits your system?" Yes, that you start like that. After your after hi, let's say you have spoken and the person has responded, you people are speaking. This message, I must emphasize, it must be good that you people have had one or two exchanges, so that you people have been speaking. So go not when you go to all sporting director, if you like if you connect with them, you always start to introduce yourself. This is this is it. Then when you are having some talks, and then you are telling him what you're doing, whether you're an agent, nice to meet you, all those kind of things. You have to learn how to network to build those relationships. Then if you don't know about this part also, you can also message me always. I'm going to help you on this. But well, this is just the basic. I'm just giving you guys the basics here, because in networking you have to you don't have to ask from the beginning. You have to just introduce yourself, speak, then the next time you can go with your proposal. So after speaking, then before you can go through this process, again, if you don't understand, get to me. I'll send you even if I have a message, or if you can contact me also on LinkedIn, I can send you messages how you can write people. Well, step 3 is go through academic coaches. Academic coaches always have time for a lot of people, because they're coaching the academy. They always have time for long discussion, and through them you can also reach the first team, because a team, the academic coach has, let's say, he has that link with the first team. So through him, you can also get to the first team coach. So with them, build relationship at youth level. Contact under 17, also whether under 18 or all academic coaches, just to know how they are doing the development, just to create connection. That one is just create connection. From there, you can start to, when you build network relationships with people, it's much easier. So when you contact them from where you are far, you can also try to build, just network with them. That's normal. You can ask them something, you're an agent, you can ask them just football related topics. Those are quite important things. For example, if I was to build a relationship, if I was to contact an academic coach, I would say, I'll first look what system he plays, what he's always posting. I'll say, hi, I see you like to post about this. Let's take, for example, formation. What 4-3-3, you try to ask him something more formation wise also, because that's what he's posting on his, let's take, for example, his LinkedIn. You can go from there. Okay, and then the next is 4, attend events and tournaments. So where there are always youth tournament, it's always good to attend events, because there you meet a lot of coaches and a lot of other people coming to scout and watch. That's where you can also build your networking. Also, you can actually meet a lot of sporting directors there, because most of the time when there are these games, they leave their office to come and watch who is coming up next, so that when the coach, for example, they don't buy, most of the time when the youth teams are playing, you can always see the sporting director there, sometimes just sitting at the corner, and he is coming to observe how the youth teams are doing, who is going to come into the first team, so that they can save some money for transfer and don't go and buy someone. So there you can actually catch a sporting director, and you have face-to-face talk with him. That's quite also important. So if in all these things, as I say, it's always good to offer value first before you ask. Don't just ask for a try or opportunity. Do your network, do your homework, search what kind of system they play, so that you can strike long conversation with all these kind of topics. So you have to do your homework. That's how I'm going to say. So don't just speak without knowing what the system the team plays. So you have to do a little bit of networking on these things. So you have to invest to give value to people, and then that in return you're going to get network from people. So that's quite very important, that you have to know that. So everyone starts like this, but I'll tell you, the most successful agents are the people who have a lot of relationship with clubs. Yes. So I'll give you one thing. If you're an agent today, you're earning, let's say, 5 million or whatsoever. The person who has, let's say, who earns 10,000 and is building his relationship network with clubs, he's going to have millions in the future, because when he has a lot of network with people, he's just going to pop up one time when a player comes to his hand and say, hey, look at this player, what do you think of? He's going to have a lot of network that he's going to be working with them. So because in football, networking and relationship is the most important thing, because it builds trust. Yeah, those are the most important thing you have to check as an agent. So okay, now let's give an example, a real life example. I'm going to tell you about one agent I worked with started sending just customized messages to people. So let's take, for example, he decided to say, this is not an example, he decided to say, this is just, he's just going to scout players and send to a team. Let's take, for example, the team was playing 4-3-3, and each time he'll give a report and say, I noticed that the right back touched the ball 60 times in the whole entire game. He was quite good. He had 60, he touched the ball 60 times. His hit map was 60 times. The left winger kept making the wrong direction, the right direction. But if we bring this player from this place and we fit here, it can go like this. He will send a report to a team. So the analysis department, they'll check. But after some time, he became like the scout of the team, and he became more even like an agent of the team. So sometimes with teams, what you think, because there's always a lot of job, there's always a lot you can put your way into teams. You can build the relationship with clubs always. So just do something. Or if you can also decide to do a research for a team and start to go that way. So you create value for your time. You create value without the people asking you, and in return the people are going to trust you because you did a good job. So that's one way I can say, always start from somewhere. That's why it's a create value, add value. So now, and before I go, if you want to connect with clubs and stand out as a football agent, you can contact me. I can try to mentor you on how you can go with a lot of strategy on what to do exactly. Because right now I'm in the process. I speak to sporting directors. I'll be having an interview coming up, but I'm not going to expose a little bit anything now, but with time I'm going to post that also. But after this video, I'm going to post those. Check the post, because actually the last time I went, I was with the recruitment analysis of head of recruitment for Coast Football Club in Finland, which is the team who won the league last year. So normally I'll have to update most of these photos so that you people can see also. Yeah, but anyways, right now I'm doing this tool that I move to football clubs and try to interview sporting director, those in charge of transfers, to know how it works also within different clubs. So it's a role I'm quite enjoying, and also building network. So if you need some things like this, you can also contact me, then we can see how we can help you on this. Okay, I'll have to go. Tomorrow is another day. It's been a few days I didn't come online, but yes, I'm back again. So I'll keep you guys posted, and take care. Okay, cheers.